stop whatever you're doing, because the story I'm about to drop makes every Kardashian meltdown, every Kanye rant, and every Drake beef look like kindergarten show and tell. King Harris, the son of rap mogul T.I., left behind a final message before doctors split open his skull in a last-ditch brain surgery. And that message? It wasn't some sappy goodbye. It was a digital hand grenade. A warning. A confession. A shot fired straight into the heart of hip-hop's darkest secrets. The second it leaked, the internet didn't just react, it imploded. Timelines erupted like Mount Vesuvius with hashtags, prayer circles, and conspiracy theories thick enough to choke. Fans swore they heard hidden codes in his voice. Bloggers claimed it was proof of an inside hit, and rappers, they were subtweeting like scared actors in a mob movie. This isn't just gossip. This isn't just another celebrity in trouble headline. This is the kind of story that makes you check under your bed at night. King Harris's last words weren't just viral. They were radioactive, spreading faster than the flu in a frat house. And tonight, we're tearing open every layer of this ticking time bomb. The moment that message leaked, it felt less like a celebrity update and more like a global emergency. King Harris wasn't trending because he dropped a new song, got into a goofy Instagram live, or showed off some ridiculous outfit that looked like it came straight out of a Spirit Halloween clearance rack. No, he was trending because of his last words before brain surgery. And not just trending lightly. We're talking Category 5 hurricane trending. Your grandma, who doesn't even know who T.I. is, was suddenly asking, "Did you hear about King Harris?" That's how viral it went. Now here's the thing. King wasn't exactly the golden boy of hip-hop royalty. Let's be honest. His name carried more controversy than Billboard hits. He was that kid in the spotlight who never quite fit the role. Some called him a prodigy. Others called him a walking PR disaster. And then came jail. The scandals, the headlines, the whispers of bad decisions catching up. So when news broke that he'd been brutally attacked behind bars and rushed into surgery, fans were already split between pity and, well, what did you expect? But the message? Oh, that changed everything. It wasn't a goodbye. It wasn't a tell my family I love them. Nope. It was more like, if I don't make it, y'all already know who's responsible. Bro. That line hit like a lyrical sucker punch. Forget Tupac's Hit 'Em Up. Forget Pusha T's Story of Adidon. This wasn't a diss track. This was a deathbed diss. People online went ballistic. Screenshots of the voice notes started circulating faster than bootleg mixtapes in the early 2000s. Theories sprouted instantly. Was he calling out gangs? Was he pointing at rap rivals? Or, and here's the spicy one, was he aiming that message at his own family? That's right. Some fans immediately jumped to T.I. set him up territory. Because the internet never misses a chance to throw gasoline on a fire. Let's talk about the audio itself. Fans swear they could hear background noise, footsteps, maybe a guard's laugh, maybe even someone whispering. Conspiracy Twitter turned into a CSI lab. I saw one thread where a dude had broken down the audio levels like he was auditioning for the FBI. At timestamp 007, you can clearly hear metallic clanging consistent with prison gates. Bruh, relax. It's a jail call, not the Zapruder film. But hey, that's the internet. Everything has to be a clue. Meanwhile, T.I. was spotted outside the hospital, pacing like a man who just realized karma might have sent him the bill. His head buried in his hands, paparazzi cameras snapping every tortured angle. One headline read, "T.I. crumbles as King fights for life." Another said, "Tiny collapses in tears at hospital." The media was eating this up like Thanksgiving leftovers. Every grimace, every tear, every hospital visit turned into a tabloid cover. But fans? They weren't buying the random fight in jail narrative anymore. Oh no, they smelled something rotten. Why would a young rapper suddenly leave a last message like that if this was just a scuffle? One viral tweet asked, "Nah, this was a hit." Boom. Just like that, the conspiracy floodgates opened. First, the gang theory. Rumors spread that King stumbled into prison secrets, smuggling operations, protection rackets, dirty guards pocketing side cash. And what happens when you know too much? You get silenced. His last message was painted as proof, a dying whistleblower trying to warn the world. Then came the industry beef theory. Out of nowhere, rival rapper Boosie's name started popping up like the boogeyman in comment sections. His camp accused of orchestrating some get back for old scandals linked to King. Now, did anyone have receipts? Of course not. But in internet court, you don't need evidence. You just need vibes and a spicy headline. Suddenly, half of social media was screaming, "Boosie did it!" while the other half was screaming, "Y'all reaching harder than Stretch Armstrong?" And finally, the wildest one, the family betrayal theory. Yep, some people actually accuse T.I. himself of sacrificing his son for clout, lawsuits, or whatever Illuminati storyline was trending that week. A viral TikTok racked up millions of views claiming, "This isn't tragedy, this is ritual." Because why mourn respectfully when you can make everything about blood sacrifices, right? Now let's get real. The reaction wasn't just online. Outside the hospital in Atlanta, fans gathered with candles and posters. Some prayed, some cried, and some demanded justice. Protest signs read, "Who set him up?" and "Justice for King." The atmosphere was part vigil, part riot, part Coachella, if Coachella was powered by pure anger and Red Bull, and the hashtags? Oh, the hashtags were relentless. Pray for King Harris, justice for King. Who planned this? Each one trended globally, each one sparking its own firestorm of comments. Some people genuinely prayed, others roasted. And the trolls? Oh, they had a field day. Memes of T.I. looking stressed, Tiny crying, even doctored Illuminati-confirmed edits with pyramids and eyes on fire. Welcome to the internet! Nothing is sacred. Not even a kid fighting for his life. But what made this entire saga go nuclear wasn't just the message. It was the timing. The leak dropped just hours before King was wheeled into surgery. That means people didn't just see it as a note, they saw it as prophecy. A foreshadowing, a Shakespearean monologue before the curtain fell. And that's why people lost their minds. Doctors, meanwhile, gave updates that sounded more like horror scripts than medical reports. Traumatic brain injury, skull opened, swelling that refused to go down, a coma, machines keeping him alive. Every detail dripped online, turning King Harris into the most watched hospital patient on Earth. And yet, through the chaos, the internet refused to let go of that last message. Fans dissected it like it was the Dead Sea Scrolls. Was he dropping names? Was he cryptically signaling? One TikTok had over 1 million likes claiming his last words matched up with secret gang codes. Another YouTuber made a 40-minute breakdown connecting his message to prison staff corruption. You'd think King was the hip-hop Snowden at this point. The reactions from the rap community only made things worse. Some rappers tweeted prayers, others stayed silent, and a few dropped cryptic posts like, "This is what happens when you know too much." Oh, thanks, guys. That's totally not adding gasoline to the fire. So now we had fans divided into camps. The prayer squad, posting candles, crying emojis, and Bible verses. The detective squad, dissecting audio, posting charts, and connecting imaginary dots. The troll squad, memeing the tragedy for likes because clout is a hell of a drug. And through it all, one truth stood out. King Harris's last message wasn't just a whisper. It was a thunderclap, a viral earthquake that cracked the ground beneath hip-hop. Because when a young man, barely out of his teens, goes into surgery saying, "Y'all already know who to blame," you don't just scroll past that. You stop, you argue, you repost, you obsess, and that obsession, that's just the beginning. The wildfire didn't stop at fan theories and hospital vigils. Oh no, it grew legs, wings, and a jetpack, blasting into every corner of pop culture like a scandal on steroids. What started as one leaked voice note turned into a full-blown circus where celebrities, bloggers, and random TikTok kids with ring lights all decided they were the chosen prophets of King Harris's tragedy. Let's start with the celebrities, because Lord knows they can't resist inserting themselves into chaos. Rappers, singers, influencers, everybody and their cousin weighed in. Some posted the standard prayers up yo template tweet as if copy-pasted from their notes app. But others, they got cryptic. One A-list rapper dropped, "This is what happens when you cross the machine." No explanation, no context, just enough smoke to make the internet scream, "What machine?" Suddenly, fans were convinced King wasn't just a victim of prison politics. He was a pawn in some massive Illuminati chess game. Then came the singers posting dramatic Instagram stories of candles flickering with captions like, "Gone too soon," even though King wasn't gone yet. People dragged them instantly. Bruh, he's literally still alive. Delete this funeral flyer energy. The internet is ruthless, but not wrong. And don't get me started on the influencers. Some of them used King's tragedy as background noise while selling skincare products. I wish I was joking. Picture this. Guys, pray for King Harris, but also this moisturizer has literally saved my life. Humanity is doomed, but the celebrity circus was only half the story. The memes, they exploded like confetti cannons at a clown convention. Within hours, TikTok edits were everywhere. Sad piano versions of King's message played over slow-motion montages of him rapping, fighting, laughing, you name it. One edit had 5 million views in 24 hours. Another turned his last words into a drill remix, complete with a bass drop. Tasteless? Absolutely. Viral? You already know. Twitter, or X for the 5 people still calling it that, was no better. Memes roasted T.I. pacing outside the hospital like he was waiting for McDonald's to reopen after midnight. Tiny crying became a reaction gif. Even the doctors weren't safe. Someone made a meme of a surgeon with the caption, "Bro about to freestyle in King's skull." Dark humor is undefeated, and yet, behind the jokes, anger kept building. Protesters outside the hospital grew louder. Candles turned into megaphones. Posters reading "Justice for King" transformed into chants demanding accountability. Videos of crowds screaming outside the ICU went viral, fans crying, pastors preaching, and conspiracy theorists handing out flyers about government cover-ups. You'd think Area 51 relocated to Atlanta overnight. That's when the wild twists started rolling in. First, leaked reports claimed the security cameras in King's cell block malfunctioned minutes before the attack. Convenient? Too convenient. Add in guards who stepped away at the same exact moment, and suddenly the word "setup" was tattooed across every headline. Coincidence? Please. Even Dora the Explorer could solve this one without the map. Then, whispers of a bounty. That's right. Multiple online sources swore that King had a price on his head. Numbers floated around, 50K, 100K, even $250,000 for silencing him. Now, whether that's true or just internet fanfiction doesn't matter. The rumor spread faster than a leaked Drake album. And once people believed it, the narrative shifted. This wasn't just violence. This was business. And speaking of business, the rap industry couldn't keep its mouth shut. Suddenly, old interviews resurfaced where King threw shade at rivals, laughed at scandals, or bragged about knowing what really goes down. Clips that nobody cared about 2 weeks ago became evidence. Bloggers connected dots that didn't even exist. At 3:42 in this interview, King scratches his head. Clearly a coded message about prison gangs. Bro, get a grip! But fans ate it up. Meanwhile, rappers like Boozy found themselves dragged into the firestorm whether they liked it or not. His camp trended after fans swore he had motive. Old beefs, messy scandals, sideways glances at award shows. Suddenly, everything looked suspicious. One viral post declared, "Boozy pulled the strings, period. No proof. Just vibes." But in 2025, vibes are more powerful than facts. And just when the chaos couldn't get messier, a medical leak dropped like a plot twist nobody saw coming. Allegedly, traces of an unidentified toxin were found in King's system. Not just blunt force trauma, poison. Cue the collective internet meltdown. Now we weren't just talking gangs or rap beefs. We were talking assassination. One insider reportedly whispered, "This wasn't a fight. This was a silencing. Congratulations, internet. You just unlocked the murder mystery expansion pack." Fans went feral. Comment sections turned into war zones. Some screamed for justice. Others accused the Harris family of hiding the truth. And the trolls? They had the audacity to start calling him Rap's Jon Snow, because apparently we're turning a real-life coma into a Game of Thrones reference now. And through all this chaos, one line kept echoing like a ghost. "Y'all already know who to blame." That single sentence became a rallying cry. A meme, a threat, a prayer, all rolled into one. People wore it on t-shirts. Fans spray-painted it on walls. Influencers turned it into TikTok dances. Imagine your last words before surgery being treated like a viral soundbite. That's the internet for you. Tragedy turned into content in 0.3 seconds. But the scariest part? It didn't stop there. Behind closed doors, whispers claimed even the hospital wasn't safe. A supposed dark web leak showed masked figures tampering with machines near King's bed. If real, that meant the attack wasn't over. That meant the hospital, the one place he should have been safe, was compromised. Tiny allegedly broke down saying, "I don't trust anyone." And honestly, who could blame her? By this point, the line between fact and conspiracy was so blurred, you'd need NASA satellites to find it. Fans believed everything. Journalists couldn't keep up. Even verified news outlets started reporting rumors just to stay in the algorithm. It wasn't just a story anymore. It was an obsession, a frenzy, a cultural moment spiraling out of control. And here's the kicker. Through all of this, King Harris was still in a coma. Machines keeping him alive, family praying. Doctors warning the next 48 hours were critical. Yet outside, the world was spinning his tragedy into the biggest viral event of the year. Because when you're born into fame, even your silence becomes entertainment. The chaos didn't fade. It morphed, mutated, and metastasized into something bigger, uglier, and way more dangerous than anyone could have predicted. King Harris wasn't just a hospital patient anymore. He was a symbol, a meme, a martyr in the making. And whether he woke up or not, the aftermath of his last message was already rewriting the script of hip-hop drama. First, let's talk reputation damage, because in this circus, no one walked away clean. T.I., once the unshakable king of swagger, was reduced to a broken man pacing hospital hallways. And the internet? Oh, they smelled blood. Every mistake he ever made, every controversy he ever stirred, came back like a highlight reel from hell. Viral threads popped up with titles like, "All the times T.I. failed his son," and "Did fame destroy King before the streets did?" Imagine grieving your child while strangers on TikTok are running slideshow exposés of your worst parenting moments, complete with sad piano music. Brutal doesn't even cover it. Tiny fared no better. Paparazzi clips of her collapsing outside the ICU went viral, turned into GIFs, even auto-tuned into a Sad Mom remix. Fans were split. Some sympathized, others accused her of clout-chasing her son's tragedy. Because apparently, in 2025, even crying in public can get you canceled. Then came the industry fallout. Rappers scrambled to pick sides. Some doubled down on their support, others stayed silent out of fear, and a few opportunists used King's coma as promo for their own music drops. One rapper actually tweeted, "Prayers for King Harris, but stream my new single." Bro, humanity officially left the chat, and while reputations were burning, the conspiracy economy was booming. YouTube channels popped up overnight with thumbnails screaming, "Proof T.I. knew," or "Hospital footage leaked." Half the content was fake, the other half stretched harder than your grandma's yoga pants. But it didn't matter. The clicks rolled in. Monetization went brrr. King Harris's tragedy became the hottest content farm since the Will Smith slap. But behind the clicks and chaos, real consequences were brewing. The prison where King was attacked came under fire. Protesters demanded investigations. Lawmakers started tweeting thoughts and prayers, followed by promises of reform. Meanwhile, leaked documents suggested guards were under internal review for negligence. Negligence? Please, leaving your post while a rap star gets ambushed is like leaving the vault open during a bank robbery. Negligence is forgetting to lock your car. This smelled like collusion, and then came the streets. Oh, the streets weren't silent. Anonymous posts started circulating. If the prince falls, the kingdom burns. The message spread like wildfire. Fans interpreted it as a warning of retaliation. Rival camps braced for impact. Whispers of impending violence circulated in group chats, forums, even leaked onto mainstream media. Suddenly, King's tragedy wasn't just about a hospital bed. It was about the possibility of bloodshed spilling into the rap game, the streets, and maybe beyond. The rap game, the streets, and maybe beyond. Meanwhile, doctors kept dropping updates that were more depressing than the last season of Game of Thrones. The swelling in King's brain wasn't subsiding. His chances of waking were slim. And even if he did, the damage could leave him impaired for life. The thought of the loud, brash, unpredictable King Harris reduced to silence or dependency crushed his fans. But the internet being the internet, some people turned even that into memes. King Harris 2.0? Loading. Please wait. Sick, cruel, and yet viral. Inside the hospital, the Harris family was drowning. Outside, the crowd turned into a circus of prayer, protest, and paranoia. And online, the digital battlefield raged on. Fans dropped tearful videos. Bloggers dropped 20-minute conspiracy breakdowns. And haters dropped comments like, "This is what happens when you feed your kid to fame." Every hour added another layer of mess. But perhaps the most haunting twist came from whispers of hospital sabotage. Rumors claimed masked figures were caught near King's machines. Some even said a mysterious toxin in his system proved poisoning. If true, that meant the attack wasn't over. That meant whoever wanted him gone was still reaching for him, even while he lay unconscious. Tiny admitted she couldn't leave his side because she didn't trust anyone. And honestly, could you blame her? The entire saga became bigger than King. He turned into a mirror reflecting the ugliest sides of fame, family, and fandom. A young man's fight for survival hijacked by trolls, clout chasers, and conspiracy peddlers. His body lay still in a hospital bed, but his name became the loudest echo in hip-hop. And yet, through all the chaos, one chilling question refused to die. What did King Harris know? Because his last message wasn't fear. It wasn't goodbye. It was accusation, a shot fired into the shadows. And when you accuse the shadows fight back. Now the world waits. Some cling to hope he'll open his eyes, speak, and reveal everything. Others fear if he does wake, he'll never be the same. And darker still are those who whisper he won't be allowed to wake at all. This isn't just a hospital story anymore. It's a saga of betrayal, survival, and secrets so dangerous they might rewrite the rap industry. King Harris has become a symbol of youth destroyed by violence, of fame twisted into a weapon, of truth buried beneath conspiracies. And whether he rises or falls, one fact is certain: nothing will ever be the same again. And there you have it, folks. The saga of King Harris's last message. A story so wild it makes Netflix crime docs look like bedtime stories and turns TMZ into light reading for toddlers. One voice note, a few chilling words, and suddenly the entire internet is on fire. From prayer circles in churches to conspiracy threads on Reddit to rappers subtweeting like they're in some Shakespeare hip-hop crossover. But here's the real deal. This isn't the end. Whether King wakes up swinging or never speaks again, the ripple effects of that final message will haunt the industry for years. Secrets are still buried. Enemies are still whispering. And trust me, this scandal is just getting started. So if you've been glued to your screen like it's the Super Bowl of scandals, smash that like button like it owes you money. Seriously, break it the way TMZ breaks celebrity privacy laws. Drop a comment telling me who you think King was calling out in that last message. Was it gangs, rivals, the industry, or the so-called machine? Let's see whose theory is crazier. And of course, hit that subscribe button before another scandal drops. Because here, at Scandal Spark, we don't just report the drama. We pour gasoline on it, light the match, and roast marshmallows over the flames. New chaos, new conspiracies, new jaw-dropping leaks every single week. Remember, in the world of hip-hop, the only thing faster than fame is downfall. And when it comes to scandals, oh baby, we've only just begun. Scandal Spark, where the truth is optional, but the drama, always guaranteed. Always guaranteed.